A proto-Semitic Allah, burning down tells us, was a black God represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere, but you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check, it's gonna come up. And in here, it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it, if you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now finally, you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabized Negroes, which first is El, but somehow, some way becomes Allah. But that's up to y'all. That's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again, from the front, compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical King's Seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the King Hezekiah, and here we have an Ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. The God of the Bible, El, slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic Narrative Poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Masriya in a Prophetic Literature, where it clearly says that El floundered in his own feces and urine. Hotep Senuhena Senut Itiren Ishaka Nugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to check the sound first of all. Sounds good. The title of this video is Chris MVP Harris response to Reggie. Brother told me that he's still coming, so I'm waiting for him. In the meantime, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home. Well, I can play a thing or two while we wait for our brother.
We need
But
to
when you
put all
say
these clowns to the side.
when you say you believe that, you mean you believe that he has a bachelor's degree in history?
Oh no, I know he don't have one.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying I
But
believe what you said.
oh, okay. So you actually know Garfield personally, do you?
Yeah, he was actually Garfield was with us and Team Osiris for a minute.
Okay,
And he
okay,
left. Yeah, yep. Did y'all know that? Yeah, Garfield was in Team Osiris for a minute. I'm a Raw
So
Squad ain't want him.
so you know, Brother Onk is very close to Garfield. Do you think Onk knows that Garfield doesn't have a bachelor's degree in history?
Anka knows everything. These guys sat on the phone with me for 3 hours because I was really like destroying everything. They were like, yo, man, like you're destroying everything we built. I'm like, but I'm telling the truth though. They know that. Y'all know that. Y'all called me on the phone, and that's the same phone conversation when you guys wanted me to debate Sanjetti and take his place on the team. Same conversation. And then that same day or the next day, y'all made a 5-hour video about me. Who does that? Y'all don't got jobs?
So, brothers and sisters, we have the brother Chris who says that Onk knows everything. He knows that Garfield doesn't have a
You know
bachelor's degree in
everything,
history.
man.
So, Onk, I wonder why. And I made a video asking why you're defending a cult.
Let me say this real
Now
quick
I'm
and keep talking.
asking, yeah, go ahead.
You can't get on the team without Onk. Onk's the gatekeeper to Armor Raw Squad. You can't get in without Onk. I don't know how they're doing now because, like I said, I separated myself. I don't know what they're doing, but I know back then, Onk was the gatekeeper.
So, Onk, why do you cap for Garfield? Why do you support his lies? We have a whole community looking, Onk. Why?
And y'all got us looking stupid as black people. You already know the world don't like us anyway. And y'all giving them extra reasons to not like us. And it's people like us that we feel like we going crazy and we're telling the truth. And y'all lying to the whole world.
Good. I see our brother Chris is in the chat. Chris, I've sent the link in your email. Have you received my email? Let me know.
See, I've been real nice towards you, dog. You ain't even got a bachelor's. I dare you to come forward now, my nigga, and show everybody that fake-ass bachelor's degree that you showed me, or I'll bring it forth. You don't have a bachelor's degree, my nigga. I cap for your ass over there on Brother Shaka's channel, but I won't cap for your ass no more.
What happened? Is the sound still on? Well, it has stopped suddenly. Okay. Well, we have 30 people online. Chris, let me know what's up. I don't want to share the link in the chat because I only want you on, but I'm going to do that anyway. I prefer not to share it in the chat, really. Are you there, Chris? Bear with me. Oh, you know what? I'm going to ring him. It's better. I'm going to mute the mic. Our brother is here. What's up, said?
What's up, boo? What's going on?
I'm here. Now, brother, feel free. Do like you're at home.
All right.
I'm to set the record straight. And whenever you want to take callers, let me know.
All right. So essentially, I came on the Signetter platform to debate. I enjoy debating, right? Sometimes I just noticed something as I had been debating that people get real clicky or cliquish. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people take these debates way too serious. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, because I can't have my camera on right now because I'm on my phone here. And I noticed that guys get very clicky and cliquish and stuff like that. It's no big deal, man. That's expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can do that, like, right? I used to be with the Team Osiris. I used to be with those guys, right? Now, I was somebody who heard people like Chief X, and I used to hear him talk about these guys, like really go in on these guys, like, you know what I'm saying? And I used to be like, damn, he kind of like overreacting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe he was overreacting because he didn't like him. He might have disagreed with him scholastically or something like that. You know how me and his differences are on a lot of things. But what I'm going to say is this. I just began to notice their attitude towards Jabari. And I began to just like really go through a lot of videos. I said, because I just noticed how, I remember when you came on there and you came on there swinging. You came on the House of Consciousness. You just came out swinging out the gate. Like, most people don't know how long me and Shaka go back, but people don't know that you came out the gate swinging. Reggie didn't like it. Garfield didn't like it. Nobody liked it. And the fact that you come over to my platform, which is grown, so anybody that's watching it, I say thank you. They don't like that, right? And I just begin to notice some of Reggie's antics. How immature he would begin to act, how he would disrespect callers, how he would disrespect guests, how he would disrespect Jabari. I'm going to continue to stay on this decorum thing here, right? Because we can all be right, we can all be wrong. Mm-hmm. So Jabari, there was this thing about when Garfield did not show up for the debate. Mm-hmm. Now, Garfield did not show up to the debate. That's the bottom line. Everything else and everyone else is irrelevant. He didn't show up to the debate. And Garfield does not have a reputation of telling the truth because of certain things that have gone on with him in the community concerning him. All right. So I don't care about the hearsay. It's other things that people speak about. It's none of my business, so I won't mention them. So I begin to notice that they're jumping on a brother that every time he's on there, he's well-spoken. He has a lot of decorum. He does not disrespect anybody. Wow. They might disagree with some of his philosophical stances, but every time I see him every other month, he's speaking from a Black or Afrocentric epistemology. And there's nothing wrong with an Afrocentric epistemology, because if you're going to speak the Magi, shout out to the Magi. If you're going to speak on African sciences, African religion, African language, speak on it from a African epistemology. You cannot speak on it from a Eurocentric epistemology. It's damn near impossible because it doesn't line up correctly. But anyway, and I just began to notice, like, yo, the disdain and hate that they have for this brother, it just came out more and more and more. It just came out more and more and more. And I said, me and Jabari, we spoke over the phone, and I said, I told him, I said, Jabari said, so Chris, we were just talking about the debate that he had coming up, and we were talking about it. And I remember I told him, I said, Jabari, it really doesn't matter. He's not going to show up to the debate. That's the first thing I said. I said, if he was going to debate you, he would have debated you 2 years ago. He would have just debated you. So as I'm sitting back, I waited on the debate on Saturday, as everyone else did who paid for the debate. And the first thing I heard was a lot of excuses. I heard a lot of excuses on why he didn't show up to the debate. I didn't see, when I first heard that someone died in his family, I said, okay, that could have happened, right? I said, okay, that could have happened. Then I heard something about his daughter. I said, okay, that could have happened. But then I began to think back like, yo, why is this debate never going to happen? And it just hit me. He's not prepared for a debate. He's not prepared to engage. And watch where I go, family. He's not prepared to engage somebody else's argument against his very own. So Reggie was on there and Unc was on there. Everybody was on there. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like talking about it and they talking about it. And I'm looking at Reggie like, you know, this is the oldest cat on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is supposed to be the elder. He's not supposed to be standing for that shit if he truly loves this platform like he say that he does. So I said this to him, like, yo, Reggie acting like a baby. I said it jokingly, but I was serious about it. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like, yo, he a big ass baby bitch. I didn't say any of that. I just said, yo, he acting like a baby right now because of his antics. The way he was carrying himself, his disdain and hate for Jabari. I didn't do a video called that this dude is a hater. Other dudes was calling him a hater and everything else. And you want to know where he was at? On their channel, kicking it with him, hanging out with him. I saw it, Reggie. You can't get around it. Not everything people say about y'all is fake. It's just not. So I called him a baby. He felt a certain way about it live. He came on there, oh, you ain't got to talk to me no more. Instead of just taking it as somebody ribbing him, he took offense to it. Okay, you can take offense to it. That's what's up. This is America. That's what people do. They take offense to it. I didn't say nothing. He does a show a couple of days. He was debating Jabari. Watch this, family. He was debating Jabari, and he was saying, I'm not debating unless people start feeding me my Cash App. I'm tired of giving information to everybody who doesn't want to feed me a Cash App. I said, let me send this brother $5. Let me send him a peace offering right quick, because I didn't think we were beefing like that. I said, but let me show him that I don't dislike him as a person until yesterday. So I sent him $5 and nobody was sending him any Cash Apps. Now, right there, he could have said, damn, Chris Harris sent me a Cash App. Why didn't anybody else? But instead, he uses me sending him a Cash App to like feed the dragon. You know what I'm saying? He's like saying, man, forget his Cash App. He's so full of hatred right now, so full of hate, that somebody sent up there giving him something for his time. Like, you got 30 people and they send you $5. How much is that? How much is that? What's 5 times 30? $150, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's $150 of your time, especially for the garbage that you showed, especially for the garbage that you provided. It was garbage. So then you decided y'all gonna disrespect Jabari. Garfield gonna disrespect Jabari. Everybody gonna disrespect Jabari. I notice nobody stands up for that man over there. Now, being somewhat educated, I don't have an Ivy League college background like this brother does, but I decided to stand up for him, because every time I'm hearing him speaking, or every time I see him every now and then, he in Africa. He got property over there. All I'm seeing is a bunch of dudes going around museums pointing at pictures. So I sat up there and said, you know what? I'm going to stand on Jabari's side on this one. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to help him out. I got his back on this one. Now, people can dislike that. That's cool. People can dislike that. That's cool. But why are you disliking Jabari when all he does is debate? I hear people talking about, oh yeah, that's because it's you can be people afraid to be wrong. A debate is not about right and wrong. It's about engaging another person's argument. And the one thing I've noticed is they don't like being wrong when their arguments are engaged. And unfortunately, because they're so dishonest with their argumentation, a lot of people get mad. Like, you're not going to see me arguing Medunetter or something in the 5th dynastic period that I don't understand. You're not going to see me arguing about things that I don't understand. Why? Because I don't want to be made to look stupid. So most of the times what Jabari does is he exposes the fallacy in your understanding of the topic, and that makes people feel bad or look bad. It really does. He does, like, he's doing it, and he really turns that key. He's showing you that your understanding of it is even poor. He's engaging your argument. He's showing you where your argument is weak at. I'm still practicing and learning how to do that. That takes so much discipline and learning. So Reggie decided to refund the $5. Like I keep telling everybody, I went and bought an orange Fanta and a Snickers with the shit. Like, okay, cool. Because I was literally at my work desk. I think it was the only $5 on my Cash App that I sent him, because I sent Sonetta 15. I put 15 in his Cash App. I'm almost sure of it. So I sat up there and said, you know what? If that's how he feel, that's how he feel. But then he came on my platform. And he left this letter right here. Shock it. If you can go to the video and share this, you'll see what the comment he left. Go to the video. Is Reggie acting like a child? Let's show what he said. Shock, are you frozen?
Can you hear me, Chris?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Is there any chance you share your screen, because I'm having some trouble my computer? I think I'm gonna need to restart my computer. But is it possible that you share and I put it on the screen?
Let me see if I can share it here on my iPad here. Like I said, I broke my computer. I'll be replacing it tomorrow. Let's share it. If not, I can read it.
Well, you know
right.
what? I'm going to restart now. Hopefully, it won't take too long. Some memory issue, actually. Yeah, I had that message all afternoon, to be honest. So, hold on.
Okay, so you're on your phone too, then, right?
Well, right now I'm on my phone here because my laptop right now is, I can't do anything. So,
All right. So I want to read it, and this was he wrote a long paragraph on here. Oh wow! You want to know something? He erased it. He took it down.
Yeah, but it's too late. We got it. I got it.
Yeah. I got it. Here it is. Oh. He says, this is what Reggie Mayberry says, right? The king of hatred. That's what I call him now. The king of the haters. That's what I call him now. Reggie, you a hater. It's pouring out of you now. All right. The people see it. They see how disingenuous you are. And it says, I am working to make sure you, hater move, Chris Harris, do not get a debate with any major scholars on the platforms that I am on. Hater move. When you had personal problems against Pastor Bennett, I took your side. No, let's clear that up. You spoke for me, but there were no problems between me and Pastor Bennett or William Bennett. There are still no problems. Any problem that exists is in his head, and it's an excuse so they don't have to address the information. I'm not going to start no slander campaign. I don't do that. Chief X can do all that. He can do all that. He get a kick out of doing all that. I'm not doing all that. That's how my man get down. Them other platforms can do that. I'm not doing that. I used to do that. People don't necessarily like it when they see somebody intelligent doing that. And I have people that listen to the information that I bring forth. So I can't necessarily act like that anymore, because people who are new to listening to me, they're going to say, why Chris acting like that? I'm good with this brother right here. People want to hear the information. So he says, when you had personal problems against Pastor Bennett, I took your side. You did not tell the people you sent me $5. I put it in the chat the minute I did it. He said, you have told the people that you sent me money as one who spends hours and hours in museums and libraries, and you purport to be a scholar. No, I just come on there and I just give information. This is the gaslighting I'm talking about with this brother. This entire ethos that this brother has in this sentence, in this paragraph here, is that of a gaslighting ethos. This is his ethics. This is how they act, because they feel threatened, because people are coming on the platform now with new information, and they're exposing a lot of the misinformation that was being put forth. That's what they're afraid of. Garfield and your Christian apologetics. I really didn't even care about Reggie's information. I don't know Medunetter. I don't know anything about it. I tell people, nah, man, I wouldn't argue about Medunetter, or as Asar M. say, Metunetia. I don't argue about that because I necessarily don't know it. I'm not a linguist when it comes to Medunetter. All right, I tried to understand it. I just can't get into it. I'm like, just can't get into it. I don't see the purpose it serves me learning it, especially when I argue. It's something I don't want to learn, but it's such a hard learning curve right now. Those pictures all look the same. So let's continue on. He says, and you purport to be a scholar. Either you contribute something substantial or not contribute at all. You have not told people that you have been helping Garfield's debate adversary and have been paid or has done it because of your hate for Jabari. I think he meant to say Garfield. You will not get a debate unless you sign a contract. But you just sat up there and said that you're working that I don't get debates. Now you're saying I got to get a debate if I can only get a debate if I sign a contract. Which one is it, brother? Let's continue on. I have never talked against you, actually learned from you. However, our relationship ended when you called me a big baby. Now you play victim. I'm not playing victim at all. Hey, listen, brother, when you in this community and you got information that goes against other people's information, hey, get ready for the roller coaster ride. People gonna hate you. People gonna dislike you. And people gonna talk about you. I'm prepared for that. But I did not dislike Reggie. I just said the way that he was acting. You gotta have thicker skin than that. I mean, come on, man. All of us grew up being put in the dozens. Are we serious here? All this gaslighting going on in this? Now let's keep going. Now I play the victim. Well, you are now an extreme minority in the communities. You did this to yourself. Sure, you will be able to join shows, but know that you are just content for other people to monetize. People like you are the worst of us. You do harm to others. You have emotional problems, but you're the one crying. You're the one crying and bitching over Jabari every day. You're the one hooping and hollering. You can't talk about Egypt unless you know Medunetia. That's what you hooping and hollering when people challenge you. You hoop and holler, oh, I be in museums. I be in museums. Yeah, you in museums pointing at somebody else's work, which is fine. But you ain't no Anthony Browder who's over there in Egypt digging in the ground, putting together peer-reviewed papers, putting together peer-reviewed books. You're doing none of that. So if I want that type of information, I'll go read now the contributions, Nile Valley Civilization and the contributions thereof. I'll go read his work. Reggie, I mean, we're going to talk about it, right? Have you ever been outside of New York on the soil of Africa? Have you ever dug into the ground over there? Let's continue with this nonsense I'm reading here. So continue your hobby, for you will not be respected. What you should do is join Kemetic Shrine and be a priest. That's a shot at Jabari once again. Or you should try to join the Hebrews and fight against African-oriented thinkers. That's that haterade coming out of him. However, Hebrews stand together and you have destroyed that bridge. This is called Gaslighting 101. I'm going to project and I'm going to make it look like I did something to him and not take responsibility or have any accountability for my actions and the way that I display myself to others. This dude is a fraud. There's my response to it.
Now, Chris, we have 92 people. Let me know when you want me to, if you want to take callers, let me know when you want me to open the line.
I don't know what else what else that needs to be said.
Anything that's on your mind, brother. Anything that's on your mind.
I've pretty much said it, you know, like even when yesterday they were doing their show, once again, you see the hate and disdain for Jabari. See, what they don't like is I came on there and said, okay, enough of this is enough. I'm done letting them do it. I just got agitated with it. It's all about, I hate Jabari. He's a Kemetic priest. Oh my God, I hate Jabari. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't. It's every day. Everybody sees it. No one believed them. No one believed them yesterday. Their own peers. You know, Reggie, the platform that you helped build, no one was listening to you all. They were against you. It was a bad look. So there is no beef between me and Reggie. I'm not going to beef with a 65-year-old man. I have better things to do. But Garfield, the biggest fraud. Garfraud, the biggest fraud. I'm carpet bombing Jesus on Tuesday. I'm going to carpet bomb him. I'm going to show you plagiarism. We're not going to do these red herring attacks on somebody else, these ad hominem attacks that you producing with everybody, trying to get the whole community against Jabari because you're afraid of him so he can stand in front of your argument. Your Christian apologetics. You up there talking about the summer solstice and the winter solstice. You don't know nothing about that. I was laughing about that like, damn, this is trivial what he's producing. I was laughing about that. No dates, no sources on them garbage slides. That shit was trash. Trash. Big trash. I didn't see nothing. It's like looking at Garfield was like me looking at Cade Cunningham. I'm like, how was this the #1 pick in the NBA draft? He's slow. He can't dunk. He can't shoot. This was the #1 pick. This is what you had everybody hyped up for, Garfield. Maybe you should learn before you debate somebody, don't show your hand so fast. The anticipation is gone. The thrill is gone now, dog. He gonna talk about some 1,000 reasons why Jabari is wrong. Did anybody hear me questioning Garfield when we were having our small debate? People said one thing, Garfield wouldn't stand a chance in front of Chris. All he does is go through slides and try to synthesize all this irrelevant information. The religion was taken out of Kemet. The traditions were taken out of Kemet. I could show you the eating of the body of Asar. Once I show that, it's over. It is over. Because what is the most sacred tradition in the Christian ritual? The eating of the body of Christ. Where did they get it from? Oh, they got it. They didn't get it from there. They got it from the Serapis Code. Well, where did the Serapis Code get it from? Silly. See, you got to understand something I keep on trying to tell them. Cultural significance and relevance. Would these people had access to the Egyptian culture? Yes. These books were put together at the Library of Alexandria. Do we have a lot of proof to say that? No. But if I can see an older archetype that pre-exists the deity that they claim to worship, the deity that you're promoting, talking about he was real, using Richard Carrier's work, in which he promotes, says there's a 33% chance that he existed, using Suetonius, Tacitus, and all that other nonsense that don't mean nothing, you lose. Did the Bible give credit to the original people who had the stories? No, They told you don't go back up in Egypt. Thou shalt not kill. The God told him to kill people. You can't pull the wool over my eyes like you can do over there with the Dagger Squad. You can't do it. It ain't gonna work. And everybody helping them. Why is everybody helping them? Because they hate Jabari. Anybody in the chat, show me I'm lying. You don't have to like somebody, but y'all got to be able to call a skunk a skunk. That's what it is. That's what it is.
So
One person didn't show up for the debate. One person at a time. Go ahead. One person on at a time.
Oh, you want me to open the line, right? You want me to,
yes,
to share?
Yes.
Okay. So now,
one person at a time.
I'm going to share the link. Link to it on the panel. Do you want them to show their face, or you don't, or you don't mind? How do you want to do it?
You know what? I don't mind.
Okay, so you guys are lucky, because if it's me, you know how I do. So I'll share the link to get on the panel. I'm going to pin the link so it remains at the top, and everybody's welcome. You have the right to disagree, but we're going to keep it respectful. We don't need to call each other names, because later on I'm going to address a Hebrew Israelite, but that's later on, not this stream. This stream is really for Chris, MVP Harris. So let me see. So feel free to get on the panel here. Well, I'm gonna do that.
Like, the bottom line is that's the bottom line. You're supposed to be somewhat of a community leader, and you acting like an agent. 1,000 reasons why Jabari was wrong. I'm going to play a video, and then I'm going to do some commentary. Man, stop going into that slide presentation, man. Then when I came on there, no, we don't want to talk to Chris. He talk about me. He talking about me. Yes, I'm agitated about that, because they know I know how to address those arguments. Sometimes Jabari's only fault, y'all want to know what Jabari's only fault is? He's too smart. And sometimes what he says goes over their head. A lot of these arguments that Garfield and them make are kindergarten arguments. It's bad argumentation. Me and Domo was discussing this today. And I'm sick of talking about it. It's the worst argumentation I've ever seen. 500 slides, Garfield. Notice what I'm telling you. 500 slides of nothing but pictures with words. That's all they were. You weren't ready. A debate like that would only take me about 15 slides against you.
You see, Smash wrote 500 slides. Let's say 2 minutes a slide. We had 1,000 minutes. So
shout out to Smash.
Brothers and sisters,
and then,
don't be shy.
hold on, let me say this. Because the Reggie thing, I keep saying there's no beef. It's just that what they promote, what they're promoting versus what's happening, my dad, my teachers, many people that I talk with outside of this community, they all say, Chris, don't get involved with that community. Not involved with HOK. They said, don't get involved with that community. It's a pimp circuit. Not talking about HOK, talking about certain brothers that participate on there. He said, they'll see that you're smart and they'll try to sideline you. Look at what Reggie was saying. Then he double talks and say, you can't get a debate unless you sign a contract. He double talking all over the place.
Brothers and sisters, I've shared the link to get on the panel. We have 104 people here to listen to Chris MVP Harris. I know you're not that shy. You know, let's have some dialogue.
Don't worry.
Right now.
Don't worry. Don't worry, I got the crowd. I can rock with them for a minute. So family, let me ask y'all a question. Let's talk about plagiarism for a moment. If I hold a book up, right? Let me show everybody an example real quick. I have a book in my hand called The Secret Teachings of All Ages, like by Manly P. Hall, right? Let me show somebody something. This book right here. If I hold this book up and I write a book and I copy material from this book and I place it in my book, and I place this in my book, I want y'all to understand where I'm going with this. And I don't give any credit to Manly P. Hall. What is that called?
Plagiarism.
That is by case law, by the court of law, that is called plagiarism. So if I go into a writing such as the Hymn of Aten, we keep in this elementary, and I see it in the Bible. If I see the Hymn of Aten in the Bible, and they don't give credit to the original authors of the work, what is that called? It's called plagiarism. Oh, but it doesn't say the same thing. No, but where it mentions fish, the hymns of Aten mention fish. Where it mentions lions, the hymn of Aten mentions lions. The archetypes and the characteristics and the poise of the text are right there. It's called patchwork plagiarism. So if they borrowed the story and created their own religion based on it, or their own wisdom based on it, you have to give credit to the original people who created it. That's the bottom line. There's no way around it. That is plagiarism. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, it's syncretism. No, it's not syncretism. The Bible does not allow or have room for syncretism. It's a monotheistic faith. It's one God, one set of rules, one law for the Israelite who never existed, and one law for the Gentile. Stop with the excuses. So I take not only their religion, but I take stories, bits and pieces and increments of stories, and I place them all over the Bible. I jumble it all up and place it all over the Bible so I can create my own narrative, so I can do what? Shape a destiny for a bunch of goat herders. And I shape this destiny for them because they believe these stories. Because I have access to the text, I have access to the pyramid text, I have access to the Library of Alexandria. I have the Greek culture is ruling at this time. They've conquered Egypt. They're proliferating a lot of the writings in there because they themselves are enjoying these writings. What do we have? Oh, we have a new religion on the scene, but this new religion on the scene shares what? It shares things in common with another culture. But in this new religion, it says, don't go back up in Egypt. Walk with me. So don't go back up in Egypt. Why? Because maybe the people will begin to see, wait a minute. What's here is also over there. Remember, guys, we're talking about a Bronze Age, Iron Age people. Their consciousness were not fully, they didn't have the technology that we have today. They didn't know the things that we knew today. This was a theocracy. If they saw that these things or these stories existed in another community, they would say, man, y'all ain't got no power. Ain't no God chose y'all. And the people would begin to rebel. See, you guys forget the human element. This is what Garfield has forgotten. I could do this debate with no presentation whatsoever. Because of the understanding that I have. And them presentations, this is getting played out. It's getting ridiculous. Slides on top of slides on top of slides on top of slides. I'm sick of doing it. I don't need it. The creator my mom and dad already gave me something between these two ears. It's called a brain. My mother and father helped shape the way I think. So, then, once they see that the stories exist in another community, in another civilization, 2 days away from them in Egypt, guess what they begin to say? Well, wait a minute, I thought you said God chose you. Is God the Egyptian priesthood over there? Because they teach this too. Maybe that's why they told him, if you look inside the ark, we gonna kill you. Because you'll see that there ain't no God in there. It's just a damn box. So they walking around with a box and some sticks and saying, don't touch it because it's God. So God need a box to be carried around in. The ridiculousness of the whole thing. But let's talk about plagiarism. So a whole new religion is formed. And from this religion, we get all these different sects. You get Catholicism, Protestantism, Calvinism, Christianity. You get all these different type of Abrahamic faiths. But none of them want to give credit to the people who have the original text and the original stories. Why is that? Because then if you present it in courts, we could put it on the scales and we could say, hey, we had all this first. Oh, well, we changed it here. It don't matter. That's called patchwork plagiarism. You can present that in a court of law. We have it right here.
Chris, hold on 1 second. Brothers and sisters, I'm sharing Chris's Cash App. I would like you to support the brother, you know. And we have Chris, we have Chief X who says he wants to smoke with you now. But Chief X, last time you were both on my platform. And
no,
yeah,
thank you.
You didn't want it then,
no,
so,
thank you. Moving on from him. No, thank you.
Now,
no,
Sunshine,
thank you.
Sunshine, I see you're trying to connect, but it says device is not connected. Maybe try to leave and then come back. But yeah, keep going, brother Chris.
No, not interested in talking to that dude no more. No, thank you. I'm good. So we have plagiarism. I watch Reggie, and Smash can come on here and he will fully agree with me. Reggie knew when he was talking about that phallus, he has to show it, he has to present it. He didn't do a good job of that. But if you go to the temple of Luxor, you see the Sarah king Amenhotep III being born, to who he announces his birth. Neith gives the woman, the maiden, the Ankh of life. And from here, a child is born. Same story we find in Luke. But the bottom line, Reggie, is, was there sex involved in this scene in the Holy of Holies? No, it wasn't. And you know it wasn't. It's not there. So guess what? We have what you call a virgin birth. We don't have to play games with the definition of virgin. That is called a no true Scotsman fallacy. My definition is better than yours. Well, let's agree upon the definition before we start talking about this thing here. What is the definition of virgin? Because there are many different virgins. According to the context of the story, no sex was involved in that scene. And it don't matter what they called it then, it's how it's seen today. And it mirrors the story almost exactly. The announcement of the son being born, a young maiden giving birth to the son, and the God putting the spirit of himself in her. See, I call that game over. Over with in 2 minutes. Here's the slide. There it is.
When you're ready, Chris, we have a caller, Sunshine.
Sunshine in the building, talk to us.
What's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Thanks for accepting my call, Brother Shaka. Peace to you. Peace, Brother Chris.
Peace.
Am I to understand you don't believe the Israelites existed as a people?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I heard Brother Walter Williams speaking about it, and another brother came on and said there are a couple of historical attestations to that. And he seemed quite sure. Are you familiar with the attestations that he was referring to, and can you speak to those briefly?
What attestations are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I thought you'd be familiar. If you're not familiar, I can't bring them off the top of my head either, so we can move on to another question if I may. The issue with Osiris, the eating of Osiris's body, can I have a source on that so I can research further?
Yeah, you can find it in the coffin text.
Okay, thank you. And one other question.
Or matter of fact, How about you just research it and just pull up the eating of Osiris' body? You can pull that up. It's going to come right up.
Okay, awesome. One other question seems to be a little lack of clarity on.
Also, pull up Justin Martyr's works. The Justin Martyr's Apologia. They bring it up in there and they speak about the eating of Serapis, the eating of the body of Serapis. And he admits that, yes, the Serapis tradition is the same as the Christ tradition, the eating of the body. You know what? You want to know what Justin Martyr said? But ours is holy, theirs is demonic. That's what Justin Martyr said. He admittingly says that. He admittingly says the Serapis tradition is a lot older.
Okay. Thank you. One other question. It seems to be a lack of clarity, as well, for me anyway, with an issue between Brother Jabari and Brother Reggie, regards to who the Tamahu are. And are you familiar with that?
I'm not here to discuss, big guy. I'm not here discussing that. No Tamahu.
Okay.
I'm not dealing with any of that.
Okay, I understand.
Thank you. No doubt.
All right. That's all the questions I have. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Must have been an Israelite.
I don't know. Feel free to get on the panel, brothers and sisters. Take advantage. You know, soon you will realize that we might be less available than we are now. I would love some interaction. There's 111 people, and please send some cash app to our brother Chris MVP. Aris, I've been sharing that in the chat as well.
Well, you know, Chief X, if you can come on here with more white pictures in pre-dynastic Egypt, I would love for you to do that presentation, because you said that. You said that you could show us more white people in pre-dynastic Egypt than anybody. And then you went on your channel, just do a presentation on it and show us that pre-dynastic Egypt, more white people there. I don't want to talk to you. Just do the presentation. But then you went on your channel and had a bitch fit like you always do. And then anytime you start getting, everybody starts questioning you, want to know what you do, Chief X? You start saying, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. It don't be that you have to go. It just be that you don't want to hear nobody talk and question your ridiculousness. So there's no conversation between me and you. Go on your channel, talk about me, talk about my private business, which you know nothing about.
You're gonna say,
because I sure don't do. He said Caucasian. Okay, Caucasian, white. There we go with the game. See what I'm saying? Caucasian and white is the same thing. It's one and the same thing.
Here's Chief X.
No, thank you.
You don't want him on the panel?
No, I want him to do the presentation. We're not gonna do none of his straw man arguments and his red herrings. I'm not giving him the pleasure of that today. No, thank you. Just show us that. You said it. Now he said, I didn't say Caucasian. I said white. No.
But Chief X,
whatever.
Next time I'm live streaming, but this is really Chris's show here. So
no, thank you. I'm not interested in talking to you, because when I tried to have a conversation with you, you were disrespectful. Now you say, now I'm ready for it. Sounds like Garfield to me. Just come on here and show the slides. You said you can do it. Shaka, am I right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it. Maybe you spoke a little bit too soon. You can say in the chat, you know what, Chris? I misspoke. My bad. And we can talk if you could just say that you misspoke. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're just as disingenuous as Garfield is. Just like when Garfield produced those 2 Watchtower texts from Jews saying that the Egyptians stole, and then when I read it to everybody, it said that they were sharing their culture with the Canaanites, and the Canaanites was sharing their culture with the Egyptians. That's what it said. Oh, I was just being facetious. Why don't you just tell everybody you being facetious, Chief X? And I could respect that. I don't hate you, brother. I understand why you're mad at that community over there. I get it. But me and you are not enemies. I'm not an Egyptian. I don't teach that I'm an Egyptian. But your peers are letting you know how they feel about you in the chat. I don't hate you. So get that out of your head. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, come on, brothers and sisters. Somebody wrote, nobody wants to smoke, but you don't have to come only if you have smoke. We don't mind if you want to come and say, I agree with you. I like what you do. So let's have some interaction, brothers and sisters. Moribontus wrote, Chris, let him on a panel and smoke him up.
No, thank
But
you. I've tried to
Chief
talk to that brother too many times.
He's still waiting right now.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Well, that man, like I said, one thing I've learned about people, gentlemen like him, they mean you no good. They mean you no good. Just show and present what you said you were going to do. If you can do that, I'll look at you and I'll shut up and I'll say, Chief X, you are the greatest of all time. Other than that, I have no more words for you. None.
Did you receive any cash app, Chris?
I don't, you know what, the cash app. Maybe an Israelite could come on here. like really, what do we got going on here? He said he can show more white people in pre-dynastic Egypt than I can. Let's see it. Then black. He said I can show you more white people in pre-dynastic Egypt than black people. Wow. Clap it up. Show them images, bro. So what we got going on, there's the problem with the community right there. They want to attack the individual and not engage the argument.
Chris, I liked what you talked about earlier. That was addressed on one of the live stream, but I forgot which one. They love to mention Josephus. But that part about Jesus is from is it Eusebius?
Eusebius.
And that's what like 300 years after Jesus?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Eusebius is around 400 BCE. And I deliberately let Yara hang himself when he mentioned Eusebius. Because that's why I try to tell people, you gotta know the material. You gotta know the arguments for it as well as against it. I'm the negative in this situation. You cannot use testimonium, flavonium to try to prove that Jesus existed, because for 300 years, let's just sit up there and say, when did Josephus die? Around what, 110 CE? Okay, so we got 110 to 399 CE. They never made mention of testimonium, flavonium, and the mention of Jesus. No church historian made mention of it. The first time you see it is with a man named Eusebius. And he presented that argument to you all, and he knows I know it. Tacitus, Suetonius, all that garbage, all of it's trash. Trash. It's easy work. I am carpet bombing Jesus. I'm carpet bombing the Dagger Squad come Tuesday. Lord willing, if I ain't tired from work. And Tampa Bay better win this football game. Tampa Bay better win this football game. It's not a war against one another. It's a war of information. But these guys have made it personal because they take personal shots at people based on academic standing. How fair is that? Instead of addressing the argument, you had a chance to address the argument. This is why I'm standing hard on this, and they know it. I've drawn my line in the sand. Garfield, I got your card, homeboy, in my back pocket. You need to set that date because y'all looking bad right now. Real bad. This is not JJ hooping and hollering. This is not Black Jesus hooping and hollering. You have made the wrong mistake. You run over there to your echo chamber that supports this kind of nonsense. And they don't tell you, yo, man, you need to be addressing what's going on here. You need to get on that panel. You know what my peers called me and say when they saw Dr. Carl Bowman up there? Hey, yo, Chris, get up there and shut him down. No doubt. Let me call y'all back. Click. When I'm in one of my study groups, let me call y'all back. Get on there, shut him down. Oh, he's disrespectful to the white man. Oh, look what he said to him. Oh, I think he was a good dude. No problem. But I'm saying you being disingenuous with your scholarship here. It's a bit of a dishonest position. He said Eusebius died what? 300 AD? Are you sure about that? Eusebius was known as a forger. That's the first time Jesus appears in the record of Testimonium Flavonium. That's the first time it appears in the record. No other church father did it. You see how they'll say, oh, he died in this day. Okay, let's say I got the date wrong. Does that dismiss the fact? Does that dismiss the fact that for over 300 years, it never appeared in the record? Not one church father said something about it. Oh man, look, right here, this proves Jesus existed. They never wrote about it. If you really read it, it breaks the narrative found in Testimonium Flavonium. It breaks it. Like, this doesn't make any sense. A tribe of Christians? Why would this be called a tribe of Christians? I didn't know Christianity was an ethnicity. It makes absolutely no sense. Christian apologists in the building. Come on here and get this work.
Come get this work. Well, now, brothers and sisters, well, feel free to ask questions in the chat if you're so shy. You know, I'll put them on the screen. You surprised me, brothers and sisters. You're so scared of Chris. He's a nice guy.
I don't think that they're afraid. I don't think they're afraid. I think they probably didn't know that this was this type of show. That's what I honestly think.
And maybe because he says, you know, that you're responding to Reggie, maybe they don't want to get cursed out by Reggie. They don't want to get blocked by Reggie. Oh.
Not interested in Mr. X. No, thank you. Whew, don't want none of that smoke. Chief X, you got me. Pre-dynastic Egypt was white. Whew.
Caucasian. Is it
Caucasian? Man, Caucasian. Wow. Woo. Now we playing word games. Woo. You know, Chief X, I heard him arguing about something like that the other day. I'm like, man, this is moving on. Moving on. No, thank you.
Rekron wrote, Reggie is writing our names down to block us. Who's Dagger Squad member here? Ray Block. Is it yourself?
Yeah,
Ray Block?
you said that's what I thought. Eusebius died in the 4th century CE. He died in the 4th century, not 300. Got to get it correct. I had to do a double check on that. Get the dates correct.
Now, brothers and sisters, feel free to ask questions in the chat as well.
Somebody said, about these prophets, y'all ever notice that they never write for themselves? Not Muhammad, not Jesus, not Zoroaster, not Zarathustra, not Hare Krishna. It's always people writing about these avatars. No original writings. See how easy that was? How many people believe in Jesus out here? Let's be honest with this. How many of y'all believe in him? Show me where he's talking about y'all. He's very audience specific in the text. He's talking to this group of people. And the man was a false prophet, according to the very story that talks about him. They gave him a fair trial. Go read it. I've read it thousands of times. Because if you're saying that it wasn't a fair trial, you're saying that you don't believe in the laws of Moses, in which this man stood on. He stood on the laws of Moses. He stood right on it. They looked for 2 witnesses and found none. That's what it says. They found none. They said many false witnesses came forth and they found none. In other words, the priest was like, nah, man, we ain't gonna blame him for that. No, we ain't gonna blame him for that. Nah, that story don't line up. We ain't gonna get him in trouble for that. Then finally 2 witnesses came forth. Doesn't the Bible teach on the mouth of 2 witnesses shall a verdict be established? And they told the truth. They said, this fella said that the temple will be torn down. They turned around and looked at him and said, did you say those things? Because it's 2 people saying this, 2 different witnesses saying this. They said it. He said, I'm going to go to my father and bring all the angels down. They jawed that man. Get up out of here. They said, this is blasphemy. You don't know why it was blasphemy when they said that? They were fully correct when they said that. They were not allowed to equate partners with their God. They were strictly monotheistic. Y'all didn't read that part, did y'all? They asked him, did you say this? And he turned around and said, come on. They beat him up and they strung him up there. And the story, for some odd reason, it draws all this emotion up out of us. Why? Because we about as lost as the lost sheep was in the Bible. Okay, family, moving on.
Joan Lindsay wrote, it was refreshing to hear Brother Jabari give Chris his props for his scholarship. Respect, MVP.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We have one of Sanetta's moderators, Sacred Infinite Energy Empress. She wrote, peace and blessing.
Peace and blessings to you too, sister.
And for those who don't know, I'm sharing the link to get on the panel. You are all welcome.
It's like I said it here said. Garfield Reed won't debate anyone. 1,000 shots fired. And get out of here. You're up here taking shots at the man when you had a chance to debate him. Why didn't you just come on there that day and say, yo, I want to get this debate started over. Can we try a set for another date? People still paid their money. You could have did it live on that channel. Nope. You did a show the next day saying you ain't have to tell nobody your personal business. I done heard enough to know it ain't lining up, Garfield. It don't line up.
You know what's funny?
Just sit up there and say you got nervous. You wasn't ready. That's just sit up. That's all you got to say. And I'm with you on that one. Just say, man, I got nervous. Woo.
I heard Garfield tell Sanetta that he did not watch Jabari's slides, and we were supposed to believe him. It was so hopeful to have a rematch. I mean, man. Oh, Mr. Vegas is here.
Shout out to Mr. Vegas TV.
He wrote, keep
on
fighting
site.
Yes, keep fighting that fight, Chris. Reggie and Garfield are trying to reverse the wokeness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real Mr. Vegas, and you can check in the chat by, you can do the right click where you have the dots and see see the channel. So, Mr. Vegas is down with Chris MVP Harris. That's a good look, and show him some love. For an international superstar, he's a dancehall legend to come and give us the time of the day. We have to be thankful for that.
Wait a minute, he's a what?
Is it the artist, the dancehall legend?
That's Mr. Vegas.
Yes, Heads Eye. That's him.
Man, get up out of here, man.
He's the real one. You can check yourself. He's the real one.
He was on my channel. He's been on my channel the last couple of days. Shout out to Mr. Vegas. Oh, man, didn't even know that.
He is the real one.
Check that out, man. All right, that's what's up, man. All right, got a celebrity watching old Christopher Harris. Check that out, man. That's what's up.
Mr. Vegas, you're welcome to say hello, if you have like 2
Hey,
minutes.
Mr. Vegas, man, you know what, man? You got a long reach financially, man. Hey, man, I'd appreciate some of that, man. I'd appreciate some of that, brother. I'd appreciate some of that, man. Just like you entertain me, I try to edutain you, my beloved brother. Somebody said they need the police report.
We have V. Bennett in the place to be. Second Infinite Energy wrote, he's saying Jabari refused to reschedule. So it's Jabari's fault now.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Peace, brother.
Oh, a lot of peace to both of you, Shaka and Chris. Yeah, it's an interesting stream, and I'm glad you guys are doing it.
Here. Okay, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. You know, I wanted to touch on something that I think is real serious, and that's
Yes, sir.
the gaslighting that I get from these guys. The community, I don't think doesn't recognize how dangerous and abusive gaslighting actually is to people. And we looked at it like we're going to learn something from people who do that. You can only be abused by people that gaslight. You never learn from them, and they're going to suck your energy until you dry. And then the other thing I was going to say is that this, one thing narcissists don't like doing is being proven, being shown who they really are. So in my view, that would be the reason why a person would definitely not show up to no debate like that. Because a narcissist that would be the one thing they won't do. They will lie to anyone and make up things instantly as long as they know they're getting away with it. But the moment they're cornered in, that's the moment they won't show up at. That's what I'm saying. So for me, just looking back, I don't know those guys personally, but from watching their how they communicate with people, I think you might be dealing with some dangerous people, And then the other thing I think about is like gaslighting. The people that get abused by gaslighting, they sometimes can turn it on other people because they just think it's normal, So that's all I would suggest people look into. Ask themselves, would they want to be treated this way? Yeah, that's all I wanted to say to brothers.
See, this is the problem. No, hold on, sit there. I want to be able to address you. The problem with gaslighting becomes when you have somebody as intelligent as Jabari. This is a brother who went to an Ivy League college. This brother is elite. Let's be honest with that. He is elite. He stands above. I talked to him on the phone. I said, yo, Jabari, as Kansu, Sheshmo Amun told me, he said, Chris, hey, man, welcome to the party. I'm not going to feel sorry for you because people are talking about you. I told you this would happen. I told Jabari, heavy is the head that wears the crown. As I told Reggie and Garfield, when you take a shot at the king, referring to myself, of course, you best not miss. And the bottom line is, this is why gaslighting is bad for the community. And I'm watching my Cash App, Mr. Vegas, Mr. Vegas, Mr. Vegas. I'm literally watching it like, Mr. Vegas, right? So the problem with gaslighting is, I want to say this again, Garfield's stance is not only dangerous, it's anti-African. This is what I'm trying to tell people, it's anti-African. When he brought all those white scholars on his platform for White History Month, it was there to attack Jabari. You are the most disingenuous, motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. And then you cry like a bitch because I said you were disingenuous. See, now I can cuss because as I begin to just think and look back, your entire echo chamber won't even address you and say, you know what, dog, you wrong. That brother is Ivy League. He represents me. He represents where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. That's what he represents. He got a black wife. You up there, you was on there talking about his sperm? You've done all type of madness. Now you want to cry wolf. Because the big bad one is on the panel now, ready or trying to address your garbage.
You know, Chris, and have you noticed, like, the last week,
excuse my language, family. I generally don't cuss anymore. I try to stay away from it.
Yo, Chris, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry.
No. I noticed the last week watching these guys, I'm hearing them take everyone's talking points from Shaka's program, and then all the things that they hear, people, the feedback they hear, that they're getting the negative feedback, they turn it around and try to make it seem like Jabari's doing that, you doing that, Shaka doing that. They flip the whole thing around and put it back on. Yeah, it's the wildest thing. It is wild, but it just goes with that character that, you know, like, it goes along with the projection goes along with the gaslight, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we talk about what Jabari's doing at the shrine of Ma'at. Okay, well, he ain't got a bunch of black people running up in no churches with a white Jesus on the wall. He's creating culture. He's literally creating culture that identifies itself as being African, that come right out of the Nile Valley. Whoops, according to one individual, these people were white in a damn rainforest, in a goddamn forest in a jungle. These anti-African stances, because we love an ancient civilization. If I said Nubia, if I said Sudan, if Sudan had all the pyramids and all the temples, we would be repping that too. I stand on all of Africa, not just one part. I love West Africa, learning about it. I'm like, damn, they rocking out over here. I even said it one day. What we talking about Egypt for? West Africa rocking out. Songhay, Mali, we rocking out. But we were already invaded by them Asiatic cultures, European cultures, all these different ideologies being amalgamated into Black African culture. It's just, we've taken a lot of hits as a people. I'm not going to sit back and let somebody who's trying to identify himself as an African identify himself in the priest of Amun-Ra, in the craft of Amun-Ra, and let somebody else who I ain't never seen even leave New York unless he had a funeral. So he say. See, I take the gloves off every now and then. But these are things you could just turn on. These are just things you could just turn on the internet and see. Every time the debate was to start, okay, I got you on this one, COVID. The COVID thing hit. I got you. That's an event that a lot of people got hurt on COVID. I know I got hurt on COVID. I caught that shit. Right? So I get that one. Saul was right to shut that one down. But every time something got ready to happen, you would see Garfield start doing things to try to interfere with the debate. I'm not stupid, Garfield. I watched you. I'm like, yo, why he on there calling Jabari a cult leader like this? You know what? Let me explain to somebody. Cult, the word cult and leader has taken somewhat of a negative stigma. Christianity is a cult. Cult just means a society or a school that teaches the secret things. That's what occult and occultic mean. So I'm hearing all these immature arguments. I just be like, this is immature. Caucasian and white. He's in a cult.
Hey, but the cult thing, that's where I think it's projection. Because when you flip it back around, do they have something like that going on? I mean, a cult doesn't have to be so colorful. It can just be a group of people keeping secrets, doing something secret.
That's all a cult is. It's just a word. It's just a word. It's nothing.
When I hear them bringing up the cult stuff, I'm always looking for, like, okay, so is that projection? What are they hiding? That's what I always think about myself, you know. So I see it as projection. You know?
Yeah, well, let me read the definition of cult so everybody can, when you hear somebody throwing it around, you guys can actually look at them and just give them a face like, what? The definition of a cult: a system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or subject. Sound like Christianity, don't it, brother? Sound like Islam, don't it, brother?
Cults.
Right, they're technically cults. Now let's look up the word occultic. Let's look at the word occultic. Let's look up this word here. And that's why I keep on saying sometimes when people be arguing, the first thing you got to do before you start arguing with me is one thing, have a mastery of the English language. People on there trying to learn Aramaic, cuneiform, every other language, but they ain't got no mastery of the English language. Simple Simon arguments can be just dismissed if you just have a mastery of the language that you speak every day. Occultic. This is the word for occultic. All right, let me give you a definition. Bingo. Belief in the existence of secret, mysterious, or supernatural agencies. The practice of the occultic arts. That's all it means. It's developed a negative stigma over here on this side of the world because of people like the Hellbop Comet or David Koresh or Jimmy Jones. But when you're dealing with Jesus, you're dealing with something called soteriology, the study of salvation. Osiris was a cult. They're all occults. And within these cults, they teach the occultic. Has anybody ever watched the Brother Panic show? It don't get no more occultic than Brother Panic. Shit, I was watching Brother Panic a couple of days ago. I was like, "Ooh, let me turn this off. I'm going to have me a nightmare watching Brother Panic, some of the stuff he gets into." But when you prove the definition, then they run to this term pseudo. They start running. Oh, it's pseudo, it's pseudo, it's pseudo. Dude, we having a healthy argument here. Now you attacking me with that pseudo bullshit. Upset because you don't have a mastery of the English language. Which one is it? Family, I've drawn my line in the sand. I've drawn my line in the sand. Enough of the nonsense. It's time we cancel Garfield Reed. It is time to cancel Garfield Reed. It's time to cancel him, family. Y'all saw how he felt about us during Black History Month. He brought on all white scholars, and he brought them all on there attacking who? The Black Hebrew Israelites. I only have a problem with the Black Hebrew Israelites when they disrespect women, tell the truth. Other than that, I like debating them because it's fun. But guess what? They're trying to recreate the Bible and use it and do what? Make it black. Just go buy the African Bible and teach from that then, y'all. Just go teach from the African Bible. You still gonna get beat up, but at least you making the epistemology black. That's why I said I can't hate on that. They're trying to switch the culture.
And they go out of their way to hate Africa. I mean,
well, that book teaches them to do so. So they ain't going out their way. That book teach them to do that. That book is anti-African. I don't care what they say. And just because you think it sit on the tectonic palette, which is one of the sillier arguments that I hear pertaining to that, there's still a division in culture. There's a line separating the culture, family. So, Brother Shaka, what we got, man? We got Mr. Vegas, Mr. Vegas, Mr. Vegas. I'm watching them like when my man Mark from the RDC world, he was looking at Zendaya, the girl from Spider-Man. He was just watching, and she sent him $10,000. He did that big old celebration like, yeah. She put her number on there. I don't know if you guys know I'm a nerd, but RDC world is some brothers that be on YouTube, and she sent them $10,000, and he was just like, yeah. They was all watching because she said she was gonna make a donation. So I'm kind of like mimicking that right now because they was like Zendaya because he wants to take her out on a date. So I'm just having fun, man. But
no, that's it. We have American Dream and we have Radio 1. So
Radio 1, yes. American Dream, no. I'm not gonna entertain that silly guy. I'm not entertaining him. Radio 1. That's my Mizans right there.
Radio 1. So yeah, feel free to speak, brother. Peace to you. It might not be ready right now. And Sunshine is trying to connect.
Hey, Chef said cancel.
Hey, Chef, come on for a minute. Hey, get Chef to come on here for a minute. Chef, wow, man. Chef said, yeah, cancel him. Cancel him.
Yes, peace, brother. Can you hear me?
Radio 1 in the building. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yes. Peace, brother Chris. Peace, brother Mark Forever. Peace, V Bennett. Yeah, brother.
Peace,
Yes, just appreciate your effort, man. Going at these guys, man, for for their lying and a false scholarship. Yeah, indeed, man. Yeah, man. Now, yeah, I have a question. Now, yeah, and I just want to say the shocker, concerning Chief X. Just remember, we got him admitting the other day that he looked like the Egyptians. So whenever he, whenever he saw, whenever he get out of line, you can show that, because we.
But that was interesting.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, we made him admit that he looked like the Egyptians. So he can shed all that nonsense up. But yeah, I have a question for Chris. Now the question I have is, when this debate is over with, and when Jabari wins, and prove that Christianity was stolen from Kemet, like what is the end game you want to see after this is all said and proven? Like what will put a smile on your face?
Cancel Garfield Reed.
Yeah.
Reggie is redeemable. Cancel Garfield Reed.
Yeah, but but what I really want to know is like what do you think this will bring in the Black community? Like how will this change the mindset of the Black community in the church going Christian community?
Cancel Garfield Reed. Honestly, I don't know what it will change, but I know at least the Black YouTube sector will begin to change. We cannot continue to absorb those who cheat the community. We just can't do it.
Yeah. Indeed.
Intellectually, financially, emotionally, we can't do it.
Yes.
Cancel Garfield Reed.
Can I say something?
Indeed.
Also, this cliquish stuff, man. I mean, if it's really about the community and really about the information, then for me, I see this kind of cliquish mentality where people are defending, they're just mobbing up on different groups. And for me, it's just like, why can't every individual just stand on their own? I mean, why does it have to be a clique? We can all respect each other as individuals.
That's a perfect world. That's a perfect world. Many times we're absorbed into this mindset, or what I like to call a messianic mindset, that, oh, we can all get along one day. No, we cannot. Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan do not get along. They do not get along in their 50s.
Right.
Because Isaiah Thomas whooped his ass in them games. They don't get along. And what I'm trying to show you, what I'm trying to explain here is simply this. We say these things because they make us feel good. But right now, the debate scene, this is the new playground for basketball. It's the new playground. You got idiots, you got smart people, you got disingenuous people, you got all these people coming together to argue. Can you imagine if everybody was just on there every day, kumbaya, kumbaya? It would be freaking boring. So we all having fun with it.
But in some way, it's kind of childish to have another man come and defend somebody else's talking points or someone else's action when you can't really defend them. They're just individual actions, you know? I mean, and it seems like with this kind of situation, like what came out of it was there's like Garfield trying to, no, not Garfield, Reggie trying to defend Garfield and people making excuses. And it's like, you can't make an excuse for a man being late. That's his mistake. Speaks for itself. That's all it is.
You know what? I'm reading. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm reading. Somebody says he doesn't think I think proper perspectives. He said, I don't think the black community on a whole is going to give up the Bible. No, I don't think so either. That's something that I'm not guaranteeing at all. No, but I think that it needs to be put in its proper perspective. It's not written to be literal. It was never written to be a literal book. You know, one of the things I keep on asking is, okay, Garfield teaches a historical Jesus. Got you. I was shocked when I first heard him doing this, right? I saw him going down this road. Okay, so does the historical Jesus have the same story as the biblical Jesus? Because the same sources that you sit up there and say that you believe that there's a historical Jesus, these sources say that he doesn't have any of the mysticism attached to him. Okay, so now you're making yourself an enemy to those who believe that the biblical Jesus is a historical person. But then you try to grab a historical Jesus and separate him from his narrative. The historical Jesus cannot exist without the biblical narrative, because in order for the historical Jesus to exist, he has to be the Son of God. He has to be born of a virgin. He has to be born without a phallus, or a man exchanging bodily fluids with a woman, or a 13-year-old girl. He can't exist. It cannot exist, family. So what we're doing here is we're entering more confusion into the black community. We're entering more confusion into the black psyche as a whole. We're developing we're scrambling something called the religious psychosis. And once that gets all scrambled up, now you got an entire community of people, one people saying that he's real, another people saying that the biblical Jesus is a real Jesus, the historical Jesus, it's a bunch of confusion and nonsense. Get over it. The arguments should not even be brought to this community. Those are Christian apologia. That's all it is. The fact that you're using an atheist to prove it doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, I always thought that, I mean, is this right? Yeah, you can answer this for me, Chris. Why not? Because, but I always thought historical Jesus has there's no implying that Jesus is real at all. It's just reviewing works where the name or the person or the character exists. That's
all
it.
Of those were nothing but Christian interpolations.
Yeah, exactly. So in my thought, it's even people that don't believe Jesus existed, they use that term, historical Jesus.
You know, historical Jesus.
You, though, about it being confusing, though.
Ain't Definitely. No historical God. How about that?
Right.
We need to put God, we need to put God on the firing line. Let's deal with him. He the creator of all this, ain't he?
But I'm just asking you because I could be wrong. Is that what it means? Historical Jesus. Does it?
No, historical Jesus mean exactly what it means. That there was a historical man named Jesus. It means exactly what it means.
Oh, okay. It means a real person or the name.
Yeah. Here's something I'll teach you. Here's something I'll teach you. Don't give them no room. I give them no room. He's fake. He never existed. David is fake. He never existed. The Israelites are fake. They never existed. Abraham is fake. He never existed. Moses is fake. He never existed. The Exodus is fake. It never happened. What year was Jesus born in? People ask me, they want to debate that. I'll be like, nah, I'm good, man. He wasn't born. None of it ever happened. Show me a group of people writing about themselves, calling themselves Israelites in the first millennium BCE. What is that, the Bronze Age, Iron Age? We're dealing with the Bronze Age, excuse me. Just show it to me. We can show you Egyptians writing about themselves. We can show you Egyptians calling themselves names. We can show you all of this, but you can't show me nobody calling themselves Jews, Ephraim, Levi, Manasseh. Y'all can't do something as simple as that. And if you can't do it, you can't prove it. Oh, we have archaeological data. I didn't ask you for that because the archaeological data that you're going to use is very scant. You cannot use the Merneptah stele. He is not talking about Israel. That stele was not talking about no Israel. The 19th dynastic period, really? No. The Till Dan stele? No. Show me an Israelite artifact of indigenous people writing for themselves in the first millennium BCE. The Bible says David wrote books. The Bible says Moses wrote books. The Bible says Joshua wrote a book. Why is it we can find writings that come around a lot earlier than that of the biblical narrative still in existence in the same area with the Ugaritic text, but we can't find any Bible written by any of these people? Oh, they'll show you some damn bacon strips. The Silver Scrolls. That's skeptical. And so what if it do exist? Where's the archaeology containing that? No one says that God Yahweh didn't exist. Hey, Shaka, pull up the God Yahweh real quick. Let's pull him up and show everybody. Pull him on up.
Can you tell me again what I need to type?
Type up Yahweh and his wife Asherah.
Oh, yeah. Let me do this.
Let's deal with that.
There it is.
David never existed. Those are all stolen Egyptian stories, stolen stories of Egyptian kings and what they did. I'm so happy that my channel is beginning to grow because now I can reshare a lot of the information and the arguments that I was putting forth when only 3 or 4 people was watching. You know, some troll wanted to talk to me. He says, yeah, you can't talk about it. He get 4 views. You know what I said? When I quit the Pastor Bennett debate in the first round, I was like, okay, that was wrong of me to do. I'll give you that. But look where I'm at now versus where I was at then. I tell everybody that was one of the best things that ever happened to me because it actually humbled me. And then it made me begin, Chris, don't run around trolling anymore. Don't do it. Stick to the information. Give your family the information. And that's what I do now. And that's what they fear. There's Yahweh and his wife Asherah. Please, an Israelite, come on here and explain, why is your deity looking like a cow? Look how pathetic this cave art looks. These people weren't even on the level of the Africans in Ethiopia or Nubia or the Nok civilization. They weren't even on the level yet. They weren't even on our level yet. They still sitting in a stone age with this garbage. We passed all that. We doing carving, sculptures. African people, tap into your greatness or keep worshiping this junk right here. A cow with a penis. That's where we at now.
Yeah, Chris, nobody want to take that battle with you, man.
No one will ever take the battle with me. See, y'all can't say Chris is slandering me. Chris is slandering me, Pastor Bennett. You better tell him that when he sat up there and he be on that line. I mean, just watch what I did to him. And man, shut up. Stop it, bro. Get on topic for one time in your life. You held up the works of Justin Martyr, and I tore that stuff to shreds on my channel. I showed you what he was doing in that book. Justin Martyr is no historian. Y'all got PDF books. I got the actual. Does it contain the same information? Then what difference does it make? If I pulled the book off of the computer versus you went and bought it at a store, that means you just wasted 30 of your hard-earned dollars, brother. for that junk, that trash, and I got it for free. The same thing you arguing, I'm pulling up out of there. Shout out to Chef, Big Chef in the building. Shout out to Radio 1 is in the building. Shout out to the entire Ma'at Forever family. They in the building. They watching, Shaka. They watching you, bro.
We have a new caller, Chris. It's called Juan. Do you want me to we have a few people on the panel, so do you want me to just take Juan or leave everybody else, or how do you
you could take him. You could take him.
Yeah, okay. So Juan, you're on the stream. Feel free to speak. But you need to unmute yourself though. Juan or Juan, feel free to speak. Okay, well, feel free to come back when you're ready then.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Come on in, brothers. And sisters, don't be shy. We don't hear the sisters, you know.
Yes, but
kinetic energies. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. My I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my computer or my internet, but yeah, it's very bad. Yeah, I'm still trying to tune in.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have another question though, if you can hear me.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we know the situation going on with Kevin Hart and the modern Egyptians, and you know, and I heard some other, you know, people from East Africa, the Horn of Africa, you know, such as the Somalians. You know, we have this and this Sudanese sister over her named Cartoon Cat, and they all like, and they all get offended. Okay, and I heard them say that they are offended seeing African Americans, you know, talking on Kemet, teaching on Kemet, and continuously saying that we got nothing to do with Kemet, and they don't like it when they see us, you know, talk on Kemet, which I disagree, you know, and I'm working on a book on that, you know, and I'm really not going to say anything until I'm done with the book, because, you know, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, you know, this thing with the modern Egyptians, okay, and I seen Chief X recently. He made a video saying that the modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians, which I highly disagree with, okay, because that makes no sense. Okay, he's saying that the modern Egyptians are descendants of the ancient Egyptians. You see how that sound? You know how long ago ancient Egypt was? You know how even far back modern Egypt goes? So I say no, that is a lie. I'm saying that the modern Egyptians are descendants of the modern Egyptians, not the ancient Egyptians, because it's impossible to prove that the modern Egyptians are descendants of the ancient Egyptians with the long span of history of Egypt. If you understand the history, then you will know that that claim is ridiculous and it makes no sense. Okay, yeah, I want to ask you on that, because this conversation of who was who in Africa, okay, who are the descendants of the ancient Egyptians, who are the descendants of the Cushites and Nubians, you know, it needs to happen, because I feel once the conversation happens, the truth will come out, because a lot of these guys
on Radio 1, but listen to what I'm saying. That seems noble and all, but you're dealing with psychopathic racism. They don't want to give Africans credit for any of their accomplishments. Me personally, it's a dead argument. Here's the reason why. If you know the truth and you know who they were, if you know who they were in the South versus who they were in the North, and you understand who they were in antiquity based on the walls, then you know. But they have to hold on to it so they can continue to push their psychopathic racist agenda. They have to do that. All right. I tell people simply as this. We had modern civilizations in West Africa. As a matter of fact, based on my current study, I'm learning that West Africa was in the Bronze Age before Egypt was. This is just what I'm learning. I can't sustain that argument right now. The source I might be reading may be a bit skeptical. But what I'm saying is we don't need just Egypt to prove that we had modern civilizations. All right? I descend from Peter and Verdeel Harris. Those are my great-great-grandparents. From them, it was Tony and Julia Harris. From them, it was Chester and Marshall Harris. And then from them, it's been me. That's who I descend from. This is not me slighting in any bit that I am not African. But we've been separated from Africa for so long, brother, for so long. We don't understand the languages. We don't understand the concepts. We don't understand the cosmologies. Everything we get is going to be through facsimile and or going there ourselves and studying with them. We know it was an ancient African civilization. Me and you can agree with that. It's them trying to prove that it wasn't. And when you hear these brothers come around disrespecting it, as Sekou said, you got to begin to question not only what their motive is, but also what their agenda is. Psychologically, like what is it? Psychologically, you can't see that brother with an afro and he dark-skinned on there. It looked like Dr. J. Chief X said it was a white man. It was a Caucasian. Man, my man on San Francisco peeling his rock, boy. He throwing that thing. I don't know where they got this quarterback from. But that's all I'm sitting up there saying. We got to be smarter. And we got to know how to pick and choose our arguments. This is why I had just been studying African history over here in America, because I did begin to feel guilty about it. I started late at it. See, we have a very, very, very unique story. No ancient people can say what we did. We were a slave-based people, a serfdom people, and look what we have become. We have become equal and or above our oppressor in the land that we were captured and taken to. No other civilization can say that. No other group of people can say that. That's your accomplishment. That's your story. Okay, guess what, guys? All right. Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. Damn Egypt, guys. We built America. The African man and woman built America to what it is today and what it's going to be tomorrow. In America, we some of the baddest motherfuckers in the world. Ain't nobody fucking with America based on the work, based on the ingenuity, based on what the black man did in this country. We helped develop it. And ain't nobody fucking with us over here. We got this shit on lock. You set foot over here, they showed you what they'll do to you. Go watch 9/11 all over again, and then go look at the hell they raised over there in the Middle East. Same place these niggas want to be at. See, I can get real like that. United States went over there and raised hell, dropped bombs on them for 24 hours straight. Them motherfuckers was climbing up out of the dirt like we don't want no more of that. Whatever you threw at us off that boat, 500 yards away, 500 miles away in that damn Gulf, please don't do that no more. America will wipe your ass off the map. Everybody can talk some shit. It don't mean nothing. Not every Egyptian pharaoh, I keep telling people, not all of them were these holy men. We got to get past that. Go read the stories about them. That's all I'm saying. We're great today based on the accomplishments, based on the efforts, based on the sacrifices that our ancestors did for us 100 years ago. So why is white America still trying to prove that there's somebody that we know they're not 7,500 years ago in a land that would not even sustain them? White people in the middle of the goddamn jungle.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't even be
Crazy.
arguing with him. I wouldn't even be arguing, wasting that much time with him. I'm like, man, y'all was sitting in the middle of the damn jungle by the Aswan region. Y'all was there and y'all hate us like y'all do. Y'all would be used to us. That means you was right there in the woods with us, out there in the damn forest with us, naked and running around like you try and say that we were. You'd be right there with us. There would be no hate. Come on, y'all. Let's wait, family. All I'm telling y'all is to wake up. If many of us saw the Black Panthers today, many of these brothers that be arguing about Israel, arguing about the Moors and all this other silliness, they would say, oh, them some sellouts. Anybody ever heard of the Rainbow Coalition? Does anybody know what the Rainbow Coalition is?
You talking about Jesse Jackson days?
No. Does anybody know what the Rainbow Coalition was?
I think he took it from somebody else, right?
I'm gonna ask one more. See, that's the problem. This is what people like Rob Bourne and all of them are arguing about. The Rainbow Coalition. You don't know what Fred Hampton did?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. They took it from Fred. That's true. You're right. You're right, man.
He said, my enemy is your enemy. It don't get more patriotic than that when you side with the people that oppressed you in order to achieve a certain goal. It takes the ingenuity of a black man to do that, an African to do that.
Well, Chris, you talked about Rob Bourne. I'm sure it's him because the username says the Necheru. And I know
oh man, Rob Bourne is in him. Oh God! Now he gonna text me and say thanks, Chris.
He just left. He just left. But
he was in here.
He was in here, and I was about to, put him on. But allow me an interlude, please.
No, that wasn't him. That wasn't Rob Bourne.
Well, maybe not. But here, that's Rob Bourne's account. He's a member of the Dagger Squad. And,
no, Rob Bourne is not a member of the Dagger Squad. No, he not. No. He would each one teach one.
Well, I could have sworn, but look, that's. Do you want me to? He came back. Do you want me to put Rob Bourne on?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Greetings, Rob Bourne.
That's my nigga.
What's going on, man? I don't know what's going on here, man. Matt forever been trying to talk to me for a year. I told him my stipulations. I'm here. I don't know what you said. Chris said something. Well, what you want to talk to me about?
Okay,
let's get to it.
Yeah, my first question to you, Rob Bourne. You never been a member of the Dagger Squad?
No, he's not a member of the Dagger Squad.
I'm a founding member of the Dagger Squad. I'm not a part of it no more.
Yeah, I told you that he's not a member of them.
Yeah, well, he used to. He used to.
No, I'm
okay.
just I'm just being clear so you probably don't know that story. We started that in 2014 on Facebook. And originally it's called Bible Dagger Squad. And it was only dealing with killing the Bible. And that's how we started, by going through 66 books every day. We did it all on there. And then we took it to YouTube. And then, things happen.
So you were a founding member of the Dagger Squad. So it means you were once a member, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for the record, you did write this message in the chat. My heart forever don't want that smoke.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to show you something because maybe you forgot that a year ago I called you out. And here's the video. I've put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I put Rob Bourne. I'm calling you out.
Okay.
You took notice, and that's what you wrote.
Yeah. What does it say?
It says, "Lol, I just saw this. Yes, I said Kemet is dead as its original culture, language, etc. Yes, it's dead. The over-romanticism of it is dead. For me, simple life continued after Kemet, and I'm happy people are now finally talking about our history here in America and West Africa. Frankly, not interested if it's not about West Africa or the history of the diaspora. I have a whole channel for you to view to discuss any of those." And I think that's the end. And then I just wrote peace. So you didn't want it a year ago. And now you're acting like I don't want that smoke. It's so humorous to me.
You want to know why? Because I saw the debacle where I think it was with Garfield or whatever that happened. And you went on side Meta and said, yeah, Rob Bourne and this, that, and all this. I don't know what. So I'm here now to have the if you want to talk about it, we can have it.
Yeah, Shaka, I think you got that. Shaka, I think you got that mixed up. Rob Warren ain't really with that.
You know what I mean? So like when I'm just letting you know. And I told you to look at my channel. And it's the reason why we strayed away from talking about Kemet for the over romanticizing of it. So I just want you, before you, if you don't mind, just to let you know, Egypt and all of the civilizations that predate that's there, those are African. We say that and we respect it.
Well,
however,
I mean,
I just wanted to. You said I could finish.
No, I just want to say, I mean, this is really Chrissy stuff here.
Oh,
now,
okay, I'm cool then.
No, but you're welcome anytime. Actually, I'm going to live stream after, so if you're ready, feel free to join. But I did call you out a year ago, and you didn't want it, and that's what I said on Saturday platform. So I don't know if there was a misunderstanding.
No, I'm trying to figure that out though, because you need to know this about me. The only reason why I'm in the conscious community is because I want to spread the information of our history, of who we are, and what we were doing before the slave trade. The only reason why I'm being clear with you. The only reason why I said
Kemet is dead, and that's why I called you out.
Yep, that's cool. Yeah. And then you know the and then now you see why I'm saying that.
Yeah, but regardless, I called you out. You didn't want it, but we can talk later on if you want.
All right, so listen, so we can get it done. This is real quick. I only come in the conscious community so that I could get that information across. I debate Hebrews and Aboriginals because black people like drama. And I use that to put this information forward. So when I hear this new thing that's going on, how we talking about Kemet and these things of that nature, and I say that's not our direct answer.
Okay, Rabon. Okay, Rabon. Okay, cool. Let me ask you, Rabon, do you believe that Garfield received millions of dollars?
No.
So he's lying then?
What you mean millions of dollars? I don't know about that. How do I know that?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play. So we're gonna get some clarity. I'm gonna play. He said that on Doggy Diamonds. That's the Bachelors.
Whatever y'all personal beef is.
No, it's not personal, it's public. Because you talk about romanticizing. We have a guy who goes online and he says that he received millions of dollars. So I'm gonna play it because you say you don't know. So play. Yeah, won't be long. Played it a couple of days ago. Just I forgot the title.
Yeah, man. Another thing you got to know about me, Matt, I'm straight about the information. If it's about all that, I ain't want none of that. Because
that's information. He said that publicly. He went on. Okay, I got it. I found it. Hold on.
You asked me,
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay, wait.
So you're gonna mute my mic? You asked me, do I believe it? I said no. What we doing now?
Okay. No, but you said you don't know anything about that. I'm gonna play it now, so you're gonna know.
No,
and then if you don't believe it, then it means it's lying.
I'm telling you, I don't believe $1 million from what?
Well, okay, let me play it then. Well, obviously, even if he really, so he lost it somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, my sister when she died.
So Doggy Diamonds TV. This timestamp where you can hear the dude claiming that he was once a millionaire. That's minute 9 and second 23. Let's listen up.
This was like 15 years ago. So he cleaned my credit. My sister had passed. And I said, you know what? Before I spend all this money, she left me like a couple million. So, and literally.
You said somebody left you a couple of $1 million?
Yeah, my sister when she died.
So.
All right, Rabon. So you heard him.
Man, so you see why it's important to play. You asked me, do I believe that he made $1 million? I said no.
No. I ask you if you believe that he received.
I don't. Okay, received. I got it from received. I'm looking at it as being made because of the stuff that you're doing online. That's how I took that. So if he says somebody left from $1 million, I don't know that.
Okay, you don't know, but that's your man though. You
listen,
are romanticizing Garfield's lies.
I don't know what
you're
talking. You need to go through the history to who these two people that you're talking about before you start talking, man. You don't know the history between me and that guy. And I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm here for the information.
You are on his channel on a regular basis.
Brother, I am not on. Brother, listen, I'm not even. Bro, listen, nah,
that's your man. You defending him. You capping for him.
It's my headphones, bro. Listen, I'm on here because of what I said to you and what you said about me. You
are romanticizing the life of Garfield, and we can talk about the degree. Have you ever seen his bachelor's degree in history?
No, I don't know. Listen, he probably does. Okay. I'm not gonna say he don't. I don't know. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this.
But you're romanticizing him having millions. Having degree.
Listen, bro. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this one. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this one, dude. I don't even be on YouTube like that, dude. I'm in school doing all type.
Oh, okay. Keep going, Chris. It's all good. The guy's romanticizing.
No. I'm trying to tell you, it's not. We got that one. You got that one wrong, right there.
Well, not maybe him. We'll talk about it later on. But I mean, that's his. He's always on his platform. He knows him. He's in New York, right? You know.
I mean, like I said, I just said, Rob won't be on Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? I'm subscribed to Each One Teach One on Clubhouse. He'd be over there. And like I said, anytime I needed some information, Rob One is always giving it to me. You know what I'm saying? Sharing books with me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've never had any personal issue with Rob One.
Neither did I. But I don't believe that he's not aware of Garfield family that has a bachelor's degree. Everybody knows or haven't seen the degree. It's too fishy. But anyway, Rob One, you're welcome later on. We can talk. But Rabom is a very regular caller on Garfield's channel, and he keeps saying Kemet is dead. He says it verbally. He says it in the chat. So they know each other. They are both in New York. I've seen them on tape together. Now he doesn't even know that the guy had a couple of millions of dollars, and he doesn't know anything about the bachelor's degree in history. To me, that's fishy. But I'm not asking you, Chris, to have a situation with him. That's just me. But let's continue. Oh, we have a new caller. It's called David Aku Atem. So feel free to speak, David Aku Atem.
Yo, peace, brothers. Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. Feel free.
Yo,
I think V Bennett was next. No.
I'm here. I'm listening, bro. I'm just
okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, I just came to be a part of the discussion and just sit in and soak in the information.
Yes, sir.
I got another question for Chris.
Sure.
Sunchild, just to follow up on the
oh God, I just realized who this is. Oh my God. Go ahead, Sunchild. Knock yourself out.
I'm not sure who you think I am. I've never spoken to you before. Well, maybe I've called you on.
You came onto my platform. That is a lie. You came on. I just realized who you were through your voice, and I remember you have a lot of questions, and you were asking me about Alexander and him being celebrated as a savior in Egypt. And I asked you for the indigenous writings from the people saying that he was their savior, and you couldn't give me any. And you came over here and you asked the same question again after I thought I gave you a valid question. So it made me seem that you were pushing some type of agenda by asking that question on multiple platforms, because you also went to Sonetta and you asked the same question. And my same answer to you would be, what would make you think one occupational force would be seen as a brand of salvation just because they defeated another occupational force? Do we have any indigenous writings of that time saying that Alexander was seen as a savior? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. Secondly, did you study the Koyak festival concerning Osiris? Did you study that? Did you read it? Did you read it just to come back here and ask me another question about it? What's going on with you, man? Go ahead, knock yourself out. I'll try and answer your question the best way that I can.
Thank you. Well, what I did look into was not the question I asked about Osiris. I looked into the historicity of the Israelites. And I found there were 4 different historical attestations. You mentioned a couple of them already, the Merneptah Stela and the Meshet Stela.
That is not a historical attestation because it is not written by the indigenous people themselves. That is a stele that was placed up by the Egyptian conquering forces. I asked, can you show me, and the question is still on the board and it can never be answered. Can you show me a group of people writing about themselves, calling themselves Israelites? Can you show me that? The Merneptah Stele is not speaking about Israel.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with Israel.
Okay, well, what I found was that these were the Merneptah Stela, Mesha Stela, Teldan Stela, and the Kirk monoliths. They use the magical words. Archaeological consensus agrees that they are mentions of Israelites.
Well, Sunshine, if you don't mind, on the Mesha Stela, it says Israel. If I'm not mistaken, does it really say Israelite or Israel?
Israel. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's one thing. And the second thing, on the entry on Wikipedia, there's several scholars who doubt that the Mesha Stela is genuine. Yes, also known as the Moabite stone or
Stele.
Stela.
So my question is going to be, where are the indigenous writings? That's what I keep asking for. The indigenous writings. That's what I stand for. You hear another gentleman by the name of Tootie. He teaches the indigenous writings. Those things are skeptical. We can go into any Egyptian society, any Ethiopian society, any Nubian society. We find indigenous artwork, indigenous writings. We find temples. We find the indigenous people writing about themselves. Where are the indigenous writings? Where is the temple? Where is King David? The Bible says King David wrote books. The Bible says Joshua, Moses wrote books. Where are the indigenous writings? Where is the archaeological data that supports the biblical narrative? That's what I'm asking you. And you guys run to these scant artifacts to try to prove it. And the art, then you have scholars. See, I don't like using that. You have people who are saying, no, Sir Flanders Petrie got it wrong. That is talking about the hillside reason and Jezreel, not Israel. I didn't know Israel is spelled Israar or Uraar, I-R-A-A-R.
And
these are makes no sense.
I would like to add on. I'm familiar with the modern lecture. I'm giving classes, Sunshine. So it doesn't spell Israel. It does spell indeed ECDR phonetically. And the second thing is that we have determinative of a seated man and a seated woman, which means that it's talking about people, not a place. So whoever says that it means Israel is definitely wrong. And I can tell you that. Thank you very much. Yes.
No, I appreciate that. I'm not an Israelite. I'm just looking for information. I consider
of course.
I consider you and Chris very knowledgeable. That's why I ask the questions. I'm not.
No. I have no problem with trying to answer the questions honestly, but there's also another.
I think you gave a good answer to the question. I appreciate that answer.
No doubt. I don't want you to think that you're my enemy. No, it's not like that. No, it's just that the question that I place on the table can never be answered sometimes. And you did come on here and said you found some historical attestations of Israel, and many people even tried to show on the black obelisk Israelites. And I looked at it one day and I said, wait a minute, these people got feathers in their head. This would make them Nubians with feathers in their head. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Israelites wore feathers in their head. Where's that in the Bible? I mean, we see so much misinformation when it comes to this group of people. You want to know why? You want to know why, Sunshine? Let me tell you, because it don't exist. I used to be an Israelite. I studied my way right out of it, and I'm going backwards. I went into Kemet. I'm continuously going down the Nile, back to the beginning, and it's going to put me right there in the west coast of Africa. From the west coast of Africa, it's going to place me right here in the future, right where I'm at today. I love Egypt. I love Africa. I love West Africa. I love it all. I love it all. But when we are talking about being honest and genuine, there's a such thing called a genuine question, not a genuine assertion in which we think is a question. Go ahead, brother. Rock out.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sunshine. I want to address what Rabon said here. Now, here Rabon wrote, "You're a straight bitch." Facts. Now, Rabon, I'm saying you are a bitch. I don't.
Oh, come on, guys.
No, hold on. That's me. Because Rabon is not having any problem with the people who teach that there was a big head scientist that created
the white man. All this Nation of Islam 5% doctrine. The Nation of Islam teaches that Africans are living a jungle life, that Africans are not civilized. So there is worse than him. I'm talking about Rabon capping for Garfield, about Garfield claiming to have received a couple of million dollars, which he stated publicly, not privately. There's more than Rabon romanticizing the lies of Garfield regarding his so-called bachelor's degree in history. And that's what it is. This is your boy, your man, Garfield, talking about somebody that molested children. Now, I want to know if you're going to call that guy or those two guys the B word. And I'm going to play this less than 1 minute. So where is it? There it is.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
All right, so if you want to come later on, come later on. We're going to leave the profanity aside, but I'm curious, are you going to call these guys the B word? Garfield is your man. Garfield stated that publicly. So this romanticizing is an excuse. You don't give a damn about anything African. You talk West Africa allegedly because you come from West Africa. You guys never talk about West Africa. You are almost xenophobic, you guys. I heard you. You know, like when Reggie told Sekou, you talk to your people, I talk to my people. I didn't hear you saying anything. You know, so I'll leave it there. You know, that's for the record. I'm not impressed with the calisthenic or whatever you do. I practice Muay Thai, and I know because I hollered at your team, your crew, the Dagger Squad. That's why you guys are in your feelings. So I'm used to the team effort. That's the reality. At least come correct and say, my squad, my Dagger Squad is dead, and I hate on this guy. You know, but don't call me the B word when you don't call people who touch on babies the B word. You heard the names of those guys, and I'm sure you know them. I'm sure you know them. And Garfield's your homie. Garfield's your boy. So Garfield talked about those guys touching on babies. I'm surprised. I'm curious if you're gonna call them the B words. I didn't touch on no babies. I'm sorry about this, brothers, sisters, but I feel like replying to it. Feel free. Keep going.
Okay, one gentleman, now he's saying it means Yashra Allah. No, it does not. I don't know where you guys got that Yashra Allah stuff from. All right, that is very silly when you guys are calling yourselves these names. Just show me the indigenous writings where people are calling where they live Yashra Allah. Show me some indigenous writings. Don't use the Paleo Hebrew nonsense that was put forth by a man by the name of Solomon Birnbaum. Prior to that, it was nothing but Canaanite. That's it. It was a Canaanite script, nothing more. He uses that to try to promote the ideal of, and you have to understand the history of that. Solomon Birnbaum. This is where their language comes from, which is weird because according to the Bible, Canaanites are Africans. Wow. You guys are just daggering yourselves here. All I want is indigenous writings from indigenous people and your so-called indigenous kings. If you can't show me that, you guys are having the wrong conversation with the wrong person.
Feel free, brothers. Feel free. I'm going to continue to share the link to the panel.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Brother Shaka. Yeah. I have a question for Brother Shaka. Is Rob Warren a Muslim or any Abrahamic?
He's a 5%er, and he had a discussion with Sanetta because he claims that they don't deal with spirituality. Sanetta went and talked to the elder 5%ers, and they talked about the spirituality. I actually made a video about that. So he likes to talk, about people, being into spooky stuff, But the 5%ers that Sanetta interviewed and spoke with, they were on that spooky stuff too, I mean, those Asiatic black men usually they are about the same,
Yeah.
Like
So
for
that, yeah,
example,
that,
this excerpt here
yeah.
of Farrakhan saying that we are disfigured in Mark. I don't recall Rabon speaking out against that, and that's not about Africans. That's about black people. Period.
Yeah.
But just in case, if people ever never heard it, it's 3 minutes. He's gonna allow us, have a drink, go to the toilet or whatever. I'm just gonna play 3 minutes. That's the supreme wisdom. That's what they learn by heart when they become members of the Nation of Islam. So let's hear it.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
That's gaslighting.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's gaslighting. That's like, I mean, he's blaming the disfigurement, that what happened to our ancestors on us being ugly.
Mm. Yeah.
But the other thing is, how can Africa be East Asia? Did he say that? Because Africa's west of Asia.
He said the jungles of East Asia that we now call Africa. And for those who don't know, Farrakhan gets that from Elijah Muhammad. Now, Elijah Muhammad did
That
not
don't
say
make no
verbally. Yes, feel free. Continue.
Direction-wise, that's the opposite direction.
I mean, they're trying to say that basically Africa is just Asia, you know. So, I mean, somehow, some way, you know, I don't.
But yeah, brothers. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yo.
Yes. I just want to say this, man. You know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to the Kemetic community, because I'm gonna be honest and tell you what I see. Okay, now what I see is I see every time many groups of Hebrew Israelites on their panels, many panels of Hebrew Israelites. I mean, it could be 10 of them on there, and I mean 10, 8 of them. I mean, but here's the deal. I see many Hebrew Israelite panels on the panel all together, and they all agree that they are the descendants of the Israelites, which we all know is a lie. You know, but they all agree to that lie. You know, and but when I look over to the Kemetic community, you know, I'm seeing the opposite. I'm saying, no, we're not Kemetic, we're not Egyptian, you know, and you know, and maybe they're saying that for their reasons, you know, but that's why I find it kind of strange and odd, you know, where the Hebrew Israelites can sit up there amongst each other and, you know, and try to act like they got a brotherhood going on, you know, and they all agree to the lie that we are the Hebrew Israelites. But in the Kemetic community, you know, and everybody on the panel can be African, but all of a sudden it's a problem. You know, we're not the Egyptians, we're not the Kemetics. So we see the Hebrew Israelites saying that we are the Israelites, and the Kemetic side saying we're not Egyptian, we're not Kemetic, you know, and my take on that is, okay, and I'm gonna start doing live streams about it soon. And I want the smoke, and I challenge anybody, you know, because all I'm hearing is a bunch of hearsay, bunch of opinions. You know, people say it, but you never see anybody prove it. You know, and that's why I say the conversation needs to happen, because a lot of these guys, man, they're I mean, they saying what they gotta say, but we have not yet seen anybody demonstrate it. You know, can you demonstrate it with ancient texts? You know, with, you know, not just DNA. You can't just come with some DNA and say, well, this is this, because first of all, DNA is in a whole different category from history. And to be honest, DNA really has no business in a conversation of history, because history can speak for itself. You know, so try to be fair. Now, I have no problem with the scientific community and, you know, the geneticists, you know, with their field of study, but, you know, but when you try to be disrespectful and try to make it as if DNA is a sole authority on everything, then that's where I got a problem at. Okay, because DNA is not the sole authority. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, Radio 1.
Chris, do you want Stupi's on? He's waiting to get on the panel. Okay, Chris might be busy right now, so I'll wait to know what Chris wants. But in the meantime, Stupi's wrote, Garfield says he received millions of dollars in funding. But it only says 4 people. Now, I'm talking about the intervention. Now, I don't know if you're trying to speak, Chris, because I see it's moving, but nobody hears Chris,
That's
right?
me. That's right.
No,
That's Vic. Bennett. Oh.
No. Like I know if you guys look at the avatar of Chris, we can see, like, you know, when somebody speaks, it's like around the circle. Can't you see it? But anyway,
No, but I hear some sound. I hear some kind of feedback
but
coming from that.
it's coming from him. Yes, it's his mic. It's been like that all through. But well, I've muted you. But Chris, oh well, I hope he wasn't trying to speak, but
Yo, but Radio.
I've muted your mic, Chris. But I just want to say, Stupi's, I played the clip of Garfield on Doggy Diamonds,
and he said that his sister left him a couple of $1 million. He didn't mention any funding, but anyway, keep feel free, V Bennett. Feel free, brothers.
Yeah, Radio One was discussing the DNA, right? I agree with that because I mean the term black, essentially, how according to Europeans, that's a constructed social term, right? It has nothing to do with DNA anyway. So it's loads of people that are just identified as black in Western civilization or in Asian civilization, just around the world. That the DNA, it doesn't. Nobody's asking them what the DNA are. You see what I mean? So I don't really see where their argument comes from with the DNA because it doesn't matter. Like the image of the pharaoh behind Shaka, it doesn't matter what his DNA says. If you ran across a person who looked like that, you would call him black. Period. And you would associate him with anyone that looks like that, regardless of what their DNA is.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think DNA should be kept in its own, category, because that, I mean, when we deal with genetics, okay, first of all, you got to understand the history of genetics. When we understand the history of genetics, we know the first geneticist was a man named Gregor Mendel. He lived in in the 1800s. In like these early geneticists, they didn't really do that. Try to mix genetics with history. I mean that's a later thing. But for someone to say that genetics debunk this, no, don't say that. Just say genetics. It adds on to it. It don't debunk anything. Okay, it adds on to what's already written. The old history that's already written. Because when we deal with history, history goes back, thousands of years. But this genetics thing is new. So I mean, we dealing with a field of study that's been around for a long time. And you can't come along with this new Johnny come lately field of study and say, well, this debunks everything. No, you can't do that because you're violating when you do that, and you're going against the foundation. And you don't want to do that. That's a very dangerous thing to go against the foundation that paved the way for everything that you're speaking on. But you're bashing it and going against it. That makes no sense. And I feel that and like a lot of my sources, I deal with the classic sources, and I see a lot of brothers in the conscious community, whenever they want to prove their point, they entertain the classic sources. But it's a lot of dishonesty going on with the classic sources, and this is because of the 1800s and 1700s white racist pseudo historians and geographers. They took a lot of they took locations out of West Africa and credited to East Africa. Yes, I'm gonna say that. Yes, because when I read history and geography, I get into the old books, man, like 1500s, 1700s, like even written in the Latin language. I know a little Latin language, but but yeah, I mean this goes way back, man. I mean they, and it has a lot to do with slavery and racism, and that's something that needs to be undone. The truth needs to come out. Like whatever lies been told back then, it needs to be corrected. So yeah, so we can get this thing sorted out. Like guys like Rob Bourne, I really can't come at him because, he's just like us, man. He's a victim. He's a victim of the slave trade. I gotta, if I really want to make my point, I gotta come at the guys who started it. I gotta go after the big dogs. I gotta go after these a lot of these racist Egyptologists. The people who told the lies from the beginning to to cause our downfall, or to, you know, to make people hate us. You know, those are the people I come after. You know, because a lot of these guys, man, you know, I sit back and listen to them, man, and you know, and it really goes in from one ear and out the other. Because in the 1800s, 1700s, none of us was born. You know, we wasn't there back then. You know, we had some of our ancestors, they were still on the plantation being oppressed. You know, you had these white scholars, you know, they are being funded, you know, to lie about African history, you know, to invade Africa. You know, had the scramble for Africa going on. I mean, we wasn't even born back then. You know, so that's why, you know, I'm trying to correct the lies that were told. Like the people who lived hundreds of years ago, they lied about what the historians said thousands of years ago. That's what I'm telling you. You know, and that's what I want to set out to prove. And this, you know, and this is the type of nonsense, you know, that started, you know, the claims that Rob Bourne and Garfield and all of them are making chief X. You know, we not the Egyptians. We just West Africa. I mean, and a question I have for that is, like, you know, when they say that, all you got to do is ask them, what is your source? Prove it. What is your foundational source? You got to know the knowledge of text, the chronology of text. You know, because anything can sound good, okay, but can you validate it? You know, and a lot of this stuff can't be validated. A lot of the claims that they're making, you know, it's New Age, and some of this stuff didn't even exist back then. You know, just like the Hebrew Israelites, where they say, well, the white man lied about our history. We the Hebrew Israelites. How could the white man have lied about our history? We being the Hebrew Israelites when it didn't even exist back then. It started.
Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's my take on it. You know, a lot of this stuff when our history was, you know, was being lied about. You know, a lot of this stuff today didn't even exist. You know, and that's why I like to go back. You know, I like to try to go way back and try to correct things.
Yeah, thanks, Radio One. Yeah. Now, I see Chris is back. Chris, we have Stoopies. Do you want him on the panel?
Who is Stoopies? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Stoopies, feel free to speak.
Yeah, big up, Chris. Before I ask Chris my question, Shaka, this is what I'm saying, because I know my words and I know everything that I've ever said, because I'm consistent in what I say. I said Garfield has procured funding. Garfield said that he had procured funding for many persons for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I condense it by saying that Garfield has procured millions of dollars in funding.
We're not talking about the same thing.
No. You brought up what I said on the screen, so I just want to clarify.
Okay.
That's what he said his job was. Now, if a man tell me that in blue, I'm going to believe him until I see him. If you tell me that you're orange and I've never seen you before, I'm going to believe you until I see you. I don't go around calling people liars unless they prove themselves to be liars. That's my point. And once I prove them to be a liar, I deal with it as it should. But until that day, I don't take hearsay, because anybody can be here and say to me that, you know why Shaka speak French and not his, you know why he has a French accent? I've lived in America for more than 12 years, and I sound like I just came off the boat. You have lived in France, you're born where you're born, and you live in France. People can say, you know why Shaka have a French accent? Because he's bootlicking. He wants to talk to the white people. And that would be lie. That I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, but Brother Stoopies, right. if you don't mind, have you heard Garfield on Doggy Diamonds where he said that his sister left him a couple of millions?
You play that, but do any of us have proof that it isn't so?
Yeah, no, but okay, so we know that we were not talking about the same thing. You know, I was not talking about the funding. Now, do you believe that he has a bachelor's degree in history?
I believe that he went to college. I've heard him say that
that's not my question, brother. Let's be 100. Do you believe that he has a bachelor's degree in history?
Yes, because he said he went to college. No, if it's proven to be negative,
I went
I
to
would say
college.
it's
I don't have a
negative.
bachelor's degree in history, but it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. It's always the same. Everybody that knows him,
No, no,
nobody's
no,
seen
no,
the
no,
degree,
no.
nobody's seen the university, but it's fine.
Yes,
Feel free to ask a
but
question to Chris. Feel free.
that is true. That is true. But it's I can't jump on the same and just say he don't have it. What proof I have to say he does not have it?
Well, Chris said that he doesn't have it, and the brother Christopher Davis said that he doesn't have it as well. And some people in the
Right.
chat, like
But
Wab
what
Funk, said that he never had it.
what
So that's
Chris?
3 people
What
already.
proof? No, what proof Chris have?
No, but we should not question Chris. You know, Garfield just has to show his degree.
No.
Now, do you know that Garfield sent an invoice for $1,800, $1,800? Do you know that he did that just to show his degree?
Well, take him upon it. Take him upon it.
So you want me to pay $1,800 then?
Yeah, because if the thing about it, if you send me $1,800 and it can't.
Okay, feel free, brothers. I'm not gonna pay $1,800.
Yeah, I think he's a Garfield-lite. I think he was. I wanted to know what question he was going to ask me. I was waiting on him to ask me a question.
It's obvious, you know. He
Yeah,
said,
well, yeah. I know. He would have made a long. Let me explain to everybody what these guys do. They make these long, drawn-out statements. Then they give you a longer reason on why they're making a statement. Then they defend them with a long excuse. Then they ask you a question based on their long statement, based on their long thesis, based on their long reasoning for what this man did. Cancel Garfield Reed, please. Just cancel him.
But it's funny. He said, take him up on it. Now the invoice was not sent to me for the
Jesus
record,
Christ.
but somebody, you know. But now, in order to be sure, you know, that he has the degree, then we should pay the $1,800. Like, I mean, are we serious? That's a conscious community, you know. You know, man.
But that's
You know what? You know
because
what?
it's like
You know what? I'm
dumbing
not
people
gonna do
down.
that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. You know what? Let me do that. Let me see if I can find this here. You know what? Nope. I'm gonna keep my. No, I'm not gonna do any of that. The bottom line is this, guys. You have to get to the information. It has to be about the information. If it's not about the information, what are we doing? I'm not here to be on some kumbaya trip. I get it. I understand what my brother to the right of me is saying. It's not going to be a kumbaya trip. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be any of that. All right? I'm here for the information. My channel will not be about slandering anybody. I'm only human. I can turn up like anybody else can. I'm only a man. But I think we need to put things in their proper perspective. Right now, where I'm at, cancel Garfield Reed. It's just that simple. If you want to continue to listen to him, then you're going to continue to cheat yourself.
But you know, I want to say for the record, the way I see, not just the Dagger Squad, but all those people who defend Garfield, no matter what he says, we are seeing a cult. Now, the brother Christopher Davis, I've played the audio. He said that Unc knows that Garfield doesn't have a degree. He said that publicly. We can see his face. He's not anonymous. You see? So Garfield can talk about some people touching on babies. But yet Garfield is in communication with the person. When Garfield called on Saneda Studios when I was a guest, angry and labeling me an idiot until Saneda kicked him out, ended the conversation, let's say. He said that he was the guy who called him to say, oh, he's talking about you. So after Garfield stated publicly that the guy was convicted twice, he said, I think, so it's probably at least once, they are still in communication. No criticism, no pedophile maniacs, but we are Egyptomaniacs. Then he says he has a bachelor's degree in history. Chef said that it's not the name Garfield Reed. Even the field is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Chris said that he saw the name Garfield Reed and the field was different. Then he said he received a couple of $1 million. But then they want to act like we are romanticizing. Who's pseudo? Who believes in fiction? Who believes in fictional stories and fairy tales?
Even when the guy did not show up for the debate, he came up with some 007 type of excuse, and they all believe it. But we're the one who's pseudo. I'm seeing a cult. I leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to lie about that? You know, just be honest. You know, I mean, I'll admit, you know, I'll tell the truth that I don't have a degree, you know, and I'm proud to say that, you know, because when it comes to history, you know, the school system is so damn corrupt anyway. So, I mean, so like, you know, somebody like me with my teachings, I can't go up into a school, a white school, you know, and teach what I teach and expect, you know, people to believe it and give me the respect. No, you know, I mean, because, you know, a lot of us, we have different point of views. You know, we disagree with the false teachings of white supremacy, you know, and all we can do is tell our truth, you know, and the people who believe it and the people who ride with us, you know, that's who's on our side, you know. But I mean, but this guy just straight up lying about a degree, you know, like a degree is, you know, is supposed to make you special or something, you know. I mean, just tell the truth, man. I mean, you know, that, I mean, you ain't got a lot of kick it, Garfield. You know, I mean, a lot of us on here, you know, we, you know, just, you know, we straight up honest about not having degrees, you know. And I don't have to have a degree, you know, to go read and study and do research. A degree does not deprive me of that.
You know what? A lot of the technical, the things that are going on, you know, which build nations, they don't have nothing to do with degrees. You know, a lot of people going to technical school, trade schools, things like that, you know. And like you said, Radio One, I mean, what builds communities is relationships. And if you can't be honest about who you are and just accept who you are and accept that you're actually contributing to the community, whether you have a degree or not, it's still important. You're still important to the community. I think what they do when they're using this degree thing, it's kind of like they're using it against our people, saying, and it's the same thing our whole ethnic group had to go through. I mean, we didn't have access to fair education, so they could always use that on us. No degree, no education. But the reality of it is that most of the things that were built in this country early on, people didn't have degrees.
Indeed,
you know?
I definitely agree, man. Because, you know, you look at some of the most successful people don't have degrees. You know, a lot of rappers, you know, rich celebrities. You know, some of them never even graduated out of high school. You know, and but yet
exactly.
they still rich. You know, and they still successful. You know, so I
mean,
dude
who started McDonald's, 6th grade education.
Yeah.
Ray McDonald necessarily didn't start McDonald's, by the way, guys.
Right.
He bought it. He bought it from the original owners.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Not even that guy. I'm talking about the original guy who really started the hamburger stands in the front. The dude has like
the original guy. The original guy. Well, the original guy was a set of brothers. Ray McDonald bought one and franchised the restaurant, and then bought them out of it. It's a very corrupt story. It's really significant about American capitalism and how it operates. So you guys can check that out. Matter of fact, there was a great movie done on that story. You guys can go check that out. But the Ray McDonald story.
It was a doc, right? Yeah, yeah. Wasn't it a doc? Wasn't it a doc or something like that?
No, it was about the story of McDonald's and how it was created and how it came to be. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But anyway,
man,
guys, I got to get ready to get out of here. Brother Shaka. As always, man, it's been one. I got your back. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? Hope you and Rob won't work that thing out, man. I'm tired. It's going on 7 o'clock. Shout out to the audience. Shout out to the truth. Shout out to the Morning Coffee crew. Shout out to Shaka, Radio 1. My brother that's to the right of me, I think his name is Vic. V Benefit, what's going on with you, brother? Always, thank you for
Yeah,
stopping
that's cool,
by.
bro.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support
Thank you.
always, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Everybody that tuned in, it's a war, but it's not a war against each other. We're having a war of information. So with that being said, guys, I got to get ready to get out of here, man. Peace.
Appreciate you, Chris. Now, my next live stream in a few minutes is called "Is Yara a Fool?" You have the link. Yes, you have the link in the chat. Now, I don't mind having a discussion with Rob Bourne, but I'm just not gonna sit there and be insulted. You know, some people taking bad habits. So, yeah, that's all. You know what I'm saying? I basically told him the same thing he told me. You know, so I basically gave him a taste of his medicine, of his own medicine. But, you know, we can always talk, you know, as long as we remain cordial, you know. So thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you. Thank you for everybody on the panel. There's 127 people online right now. I have shared many times Brother Chris's Cash App, and I'm going to do that again right now. This is Chris's Cash App. Right now, this is Chris's YouTube channel. Oh, hold on. There. And yeah. So I've been sharing that all through the live stream. So now you know, you can go and subscribe, send some donation to the brother. His channel is growing at 7 a.m. He has over 100 people, and I'm proud of the brother, and he's gonna grow. And thank you very much, Brother Chris.
Yes, yes.
No
Peace,
doubt.
peace, Shaka. Yeah, and peace, Chris, brother. And yeah, brother, keep up the great work, brother.
Okay, thank you. Peace, guys. I'm out.
Thank you. So if you want, you can join me. I've shared the link in the chat. Is Yara a Fool is the name.
I'm gonna call Yara on you on this one. I'm gonna call him on you. I'm gonna send him over here.
Feel free. Feel free. All right. So,
all right.
Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I to do any medas? Do I to do any? I'm gonna stop there. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep,